Welcome back, Days fans. And hold on tight, because this week, we're diving headfirst into one of the most twisted baby scandals Salem has seen in years. She said it was a girl. She swore it was the truth. But she lied about everything. In the week of July 28 to August 1, Sophia Choi finds herself on the edge of exposure, and Sarah Horton Kuriakis is leading the charge. So, what's the real story behind the fake baby news? Let's unpack every clue, every confrontation, and every lie that's about to unravel. Sometimes the truth doesn't hit you like a thunderclap, it starts as a whisper. And for Sarah Horton Kuriakis, that whisper came the moment she heard Sophia Choi casually mention the birth of her baby girl. At first, it was subtle. A twitch in Sophia's expression when someone asked how the delivery went. An awkward pause when Brady congratulated her. A vague answer when Rachel asked what the baby's name was. Most people wouldn't have thought twice. But Sarah noticed everything. Because Sarah isn't just anyone. She's a doctor. She's a mother. She's someone who has lived through heartbreak, deception, and miracles. So when she saw Sophia's eyes dart away during a simple question about swaddling, her instincts kicked in hard. Then came the moment that tipped the scale. Sarah was chatting with Brady and Rachel outside the cafe, sipping coffee and listening to Rachel talk about baby clothes. That's when Brady mentioned how weird it was that Tate hadn't seen the baby yet. That moment hit Sarah like a flash of lightning. Why hadn't Tate seen his own child? As Brady and Rachel walked away, Sarah was already pulling out her phone and texting someone at the hospital. Her mind raced. She had delivered dozens of babies. She knew the process. And something about Sophia's story didn't line up. That night, Sarah made a discreet visit to the hospital records department. She waited until the floor cleared. No nurses, no orderlies, no questions. When she opened Sophia Choi's medical chart, her breath caught. Under fetal sex, one word stared back at her in bold, unmistakable print: male. Her hands trembled slightly as she read the rest. No corrections, no addendums, no indication of error. Sophia had been pregnant with a baby boy. But everyone in Salem had been told it was a girl. And in that moment, Sarah knew, this wasn't just a misunderstanding. This was a lie, and a dangerous one. Sarah didn't storm into Sophia's room or stage a dramatic confrontation. No, she played it smart. She knew that truth, real, raw truth, requires patience to uncover. So she waited. She watched. And the more she saw, the more disturbed she became. Sophia continued her routine around Salem, smiling sweetly, thanking everyone for their well wishes, and talking about the baby as if everything were perfectly normal. But it was too polished. Too rehearsed. Whenever someone asked to see a photo, she claimed the adoptive parents wanted privacy. When Maggie asked what the baby looked like, Sophia said vaguely, "Oh, tiny and adorable. You know, like all newborns." And when Marlena asked about the delivery experience, Sophia simply said, "It was fast. But everything went smoothly. I'm grateful." Every answer was just enough to avoid suspicion, except to Sarah, who saw right through it. And then came another bombshell. Sarah began looking into the adoption paperwork, and found that the entire process had been handled at lightning speed. No long wait list. No background checks discussed. No birth certificate publicly filed. Everything had been pushed through by Melinda Trask. The same Melinda who once helped Kristen DeMera fake a custody arrangement. The same woman whose legal maneuvers often danced right on the line of what's legal, and what's just corrupt. If anyone could make a shady adoption look legitimate on paper, it was Melinda. But even Melinda couldn't fake biology. And Sophia's biology said, boy. So why the fake story? Was Sophia protecting herself? Covering up something she did? Or worse, covering for someone else? Sarah started piecing it together. Slowly, carefully. This wasn't just about one lie, it was a web. And at the center of that web was a vulnerable child. Maybe even someone else's child. Sarah knew she was dealing with a master manipulator. Sophia was good at smiling through fear. But not good enough. Because now, Sarah had the one thing Sophia feared the most: proof. And she was getting closer, day by day, to finding out exactly where that baby really ended up. It starts like any other congratulatory visit. A warm smile. A gentle knock on the door. Sarah enters Sophia's living room with a gift bag and a neutral expression. The setting is cozy. Controlled. A vase of lilies sits on the table. A baby blanket is folded neatly on the couch. Sophia, glowing and calm on the outside, welcomes her with an almost too perfect smile. "Sarah, you didn't have to bring anything," she says sweetly. "I wanted to," Sarah replies. "You just had a baby. That's a big deal." They exchange a few pleasantries. Sarah asks how she's feeling. Sophia gives polished, rehearsed answers. Tired, but happy. The adoptive family is wonderful. Everything went smoothly. It's all very scripted. Then, Sarah leans back, tilts her head slightly, and drops the question with quiet precision. "So, was it a girl or a boy?" Sophia blinks. For the first time in the conversation, her body stiffens. I already said," she replies, voice thinner than before. "It was a girl." There's a pause. A long, deliberate pause. Sarah reaches into her purse and pulls out a neatly folded sheet of paper. Without a word, she places it on the coffee table. Sophia stares at it. Her face drains of color. It's her hospital record. The fetal sex. Male. Sarah's voice is calm, but razor sharp. "That's strange," she says softly. "Because this says something different." Sophia tries to laugh, but it doesn't come out right. "Oh, that? It must be a mistake. Hospitals mess things up all the time. Charts get mislabeled, ultrasounds get misread." Sarah just watches her, unblinking, silent. Sophia scrambles for footing. Maybe it was the technician. Or, maybe the update didn't get logged in the system. There's been so many staffing issues lately. But the words sound hollow. Even she doesn't believe them. Sarah doesn't push. She lets the silence speak. And that's when it happens. Sophia's voice catches in her throat. Her eyes shift nervously. Her fingers fidget in her lap. She's terrified. This isn't just about a mistake. This is about a secret. A carefully calculated one. And for the first time, Sophia knows someone is closing in. The lie is confirmed. Now comes the bigger question. Why? Why would Sophia risk everything to lie about the gender of her baby? Why go to such lengths to cover up something so basic, unless she was hiding something much, much worse? Sarah begins putting the pieces together. First, the medical record. A boy. Second, Sophia's refusal to share pictures. Her vague deflections. The secrecy around the adoptive parents. The rushed paperwork. And then, Tesoro, a seemingly unrelated child. Quiet, reserved, often seen around the park with the Hernandez family. But every time Sophia spots him, there's something in her eyes. Not fear, not discomfort, but something emotional, something maternal. Sarah remembers a moment just days earlier. Sophia paused near the bistro patio, staring at Tesoro while he played with a toy car. She didn't wave, she didn't speak, but her gaze lingered too long. And now it clicks. What if Sophia's baby isn't with the adoptive family at all? What if Tesoro is her child? Could Melinda Trask have arranged something? A quiet switch? A reassignment? Or worse, a cover-up involving someone else's baby? Could Tesoro have been taken from another family, or hidden in plain sight as part of a custody scam? This isn't just about lying to Salem. This could be about using a child, an innocent child, as a pawn in something dark, strategic, and deeply illegal. Sarah knows if she sees Sophia interact with Tesoro again, if there's any proof of a bond, it may crack the entire case wide open. And when that happens, not even Melinda will be able to hide behind paperwork. Sarah understands that when you're circling a snake, you don't stomp, you wait. You let it slither. You let it think it's safe. And that's exactly what she does with Sophia, on the surface, Sarah drops it. She pretends to buy the clerical error excuse. She even sends a polite text the next day thanking Sophia for the tea. But behind closed doors, Sarah is on the move. She returns to the hospital, quietly reviews old admission logs. She scans security footage. Was Sophia alone when she left? Did anyone visit her room in the final hours before discharge? Then, she starts digging into Melinda's latest cases. One name keeps showing up, Tesoro. And the last-minute guardianship transfer that looks more like a cover story than an adoption. Sarah also begins to speak with nurses who remember Sophia's labor, asking subtle questions. Was there a delivery complication? Do you recall the gender before discharge? Was anyone else present in the room? The answers are vague, hesitant. Someone's scared to talk. But Sarah keeps going, because this is no longer about exposing Sophia's lie. It's about protecting an innocent child. If Sophia is hiding Tesoro's true identity, if a baby was stolen, or swapped, or trafficked through a backdoor arrangement, then Sarah knows she might be the only one brave enough to blow the lid off it. And she won't stop. Not for Melinda, not for Sophia, not even for Brady, because the truth matters. And in a town where secrets always surface, Sarah Horton is making sure this one won't stay buried much longer. Salem has seen plenty of lies, but this one? This could be the most personal yet. A baby whose identity is a mystery. A woman willing to say anything to keep her secret. And a doctor who's getting closer to the truth with every passing day. So, what do you think, Days fans? Is Tesoro the real baby behind Sophia's lies? Is Melinda covering something up once again? And will Sarah uncover the truth before Sophia disappears for good? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Like, subscribe, and stay tuned, because this baby scandal is far from over. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon for another jaw-dropping day in Salem.